hadn't pressed the button 5 minutes ago. Also accurate. I only just pressed it right now. But it was still bold of you to think that.
Usually you say something, Crash. Usually you say something.
And this time I did.
True. Hi, this is Beth. Welcome to GURPS Wars, a homebrew, probably broken in many ways, but hey, we're having fun. GURPS Star Wars game, and we're doing we aren't going to call them smugglers. She surely isn't a smuggler. She's an independent ship-owning cargo transport person. And her ragtag crew. What happened last time? Please remind the GM.
Nobody knows.
I am not ragtag.
I
am perfectly dignified.
I'm taking my temperature. You started while I had the thermometer in my mouth.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Well, Crash could
Rotini. Sorry.
My body temperature is only 2 degrees above its normal state rather than 4 or 5.
Oh, the fever came back.
Which is nice. Sorry?
Oh, the fever came back.
No. I mean, my normal body temperature is 97. It's at 90. It's hovering between like 98.7 and 99.2 right now. But it did get as high as 102 this weekend. So
don't like that. Don't like that.
It's the body being annoyed that there is a new foreign object there and running around trying to figure out if they can and should kill it. And presumably if it's going down, it's not infected.
yes. It's also not like red or swollen or anything. So
yeah.
And like there is a place where it's swollen and a little reddish, but that is not from infection.
Yeah.
Working as
anyway, pro tip, don't get a clot in your fistula, kids.
Yeah.
And hopefully the next thing I get put in won't leave a huge keloid scar along my arm. Anyway, last time Joel Rock and I found some Imperial officers and found out where other Imperial officers were and found out that still other Imperial officers existed, but we didn't know where they were. Rotini had a fun time in some walls.
Rotini was nowhere on site and definitely did not infiltrate a base in humming a statistically significantly different theme song to the Mission Impossible theme. While
bum 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 bum.
While sneaking around behind barrels that were taller. Do we have a space on the bingo
card for copyright strike?
That was the inverse of the up downs for that thing, I think.
I confess I've never seen Mission Impossible.
I'll play you the particular tune at some point. Where were we? Yes, you wandered around the warehouse.
For the record, Rotini does have a message that will self-destruct.
Rotini, you have everything that will self-destruct.
Not everything. Well, wait, no, I turned that into the bomb yesterday. Never mind, everything. You are right. You are correct. I stand corrected, and so does my doppelganger Elbow. I'm sorry, ELB0W, who followed everyone around like a useful puppy, saying Utini every so often as I snuck past barrels that were as tall as me, so sneaking was at a severe advantage, and installed a backdoor into a terminal.
Which you overheard someone talking about, yes, we're checking because there was an intruder. We're checking everywhere to see if the intruder is still here. And you also used the cameras.
Oh, yeah. Well, the cameras were the first thing I hacked.
And you found a couple of people you found a couple of people in Carbonite who are probably the wounded officers who are not getting medical treatment.
They're probably on ice. And our resident scientist / possessed person has switched from we need to go somewhere to we need to be at the auction.
Yep.
And implausibly, Joel Rock is still making that strip mall outfit work.
I mean, the Force might be used to do that at this point.
Zork's, 6-something, very tall and red. It's
orange.
Yeah, orangey. Yeah, it's sort of one of those wherever they want to, what does an extremely tall ancient Sith wear? Whatever they want to.
Especially if they don't even need to wave a hand to say, I look perfectly normal.
They just give off this vibe of normal. So, yes, you managed to send Nedra, your researcher, back to bed with assurances that, yes, the auction is in a few days, and she is insistent that she needs to be at it. She has to watch something be sold. Maybe something having to do with that insectoid corpse, presumably corpse, on ice that the ragtag band of NPCs brought in to be sold at the auction. So, having been plotting, this is all your heist at the moment. I'm watching you dance. I'm watching you dance, Rotini. You are dancing in unison with your droid there. There's a command.
Look,
There's a command for that in SWTOR.
If my character can't do a nice little dance along with the droid that he specifically created to be a decoy that also could potentially explode if necessary, then I don't know what this game is for. Also, this is the opposite of fighting with Foundry because this is a feature that you can do in Foundry. I like the idea that Elbow has angry eyes while Rotini does not. Rotini has happy eyes.
That's how you can tell the difference.
Their expressions remain the same, though, throughout the dance.
Oh, of course.
With that said, if not needed for anything else, Rotini is going to continue to monitor the terminal and any connected systems and look for ways that he might be able to infect additional connected systems if possible.
Well, I'm going to say it's a good thing that you've been boosting your programming a little bit. Give me a programming -5 to see if you can get any to see if you can infect any other connected systems.
Made it by 4. With the -5, I made it by 4.
Yes. That's a very nice roll there. You rolled a 7. Yeah, you can start getting into a few more of the systems, although they're mostly ones concerned with warehouse, because other systems that it's connected to are like, somebody's solitaire game server.
No, that's
they play
okay.
solitaire.
I would love to be another name on their leaderboard.
Sadly, the solitaire game server is elsewhere, and it serves them ads as well.
I'm going to add an ad blocker to their game.
Well, then it won't work. It's from Psychromoft.
Look, the ad gets downloaded. It believes it's displaying the ad. It's just not showing up on the screen.
This might alert people, but all right, if you want to. Sure.
I'm not actually doing that. Actually, let me make a will roll. I am impulsive.
You're impulsive.
This is something where I'd probably have.
Yep. Made your will by 5.
I do not install an ad blocker on the Solitaire server. I'm sorry, Space Solitaire.
Yes.
Solitaire.
From Psychromoft.
Crash, I can't see your dice.
Crash, you're rolling.
I rolled private GM roll.
Oh, you're not rolling versus Will. You should be rolling versus your.
I did. Oh, I wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
What was
Still made it by 2.
You're supposed to roll by your target, but yeah, still made it by 2.
Okay. Instead of made it by 5.
Right. See the little paren next to your advantages and disadvantages there?
No.
Okay. Look at your advantages and disadvantages. See the little paren there?
Impulsiveness 12 minus 10.
Right. The 12 is the number that you roll under to not be impulsive.
Ah, okay. Well,
the cost of the cost of the disad varies on what that roll is. If you had to roll under a lower number, you'd get more points for it.
I have a very important question.
Yes?
Does this count as, hold on, I need to look something up on the bingo card?
No.
Okay.
No. We had the hold on, I have to look something up on the card before you started recording.
Which means it doesn't count. But that's okay.
Which means it doesn't count. And also now I have the skill cost table pinned into the Discord chat, so.
Anyway, now that I have played a few games of Solitaire, I do want to specify I'm not overly concerned with what additional systems I'm going into for backdoors. In real life, Stuxnet was on a USB drive in order to get into an air-gapped system. So I'm just spreading my net as wide as I can in the hope that I will find some record somewhere about exact locations of the ones we weren't able to see, those officers we weren't able to see. I don't think it's going to be a successful mission if we can't get all of them, and we have not laid eyes on all of them. I want confirmation. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to mute and let everyone else say what they're doing.
Well, in my conversations with the Imperial captain, what are the success parameters for this mission?
The success parameters for the mission are to recover or eliminate the officers before they can say anything. Preference is on recover. Preference is on recover. And recover as many of the Imperials in general as possible. But the military objective is to recover or eliminate the officers. He clearly did not like saying the eliminate part.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about it.
Yeah, but he said it. The troops are considered expendable. He doesn't like saying that. He didn't like saying that either.
Yeah, the Empire's not a fun place.
And they also
and again, neither is much of the Republic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. Some places are fun, especially if you have credits. Yeah. But that's kind of the same thing in the Empire, too. Some places are fun if you have credits, power, prestige, force abilities.
Okay. I think a big part of my problem is that I've been approaching this from the perspective of, like, if we don't get everybody out, then we lose.
From the
perspective of what we've actually been asked to do, it's get everybody out or make sure the officers can't talk. So if there's a scenario where we can successfully extract everybody except the ones in carbonite, for example.
They'd like to get the ones in carbonite too, but yeah.
But we can have the life support fail on the carbonite chambers. That is preferable to just leave them behind.
You do get the impression that if you can get anyone out or most of the officers eliminated, the captain will probably be, well, happy for anyone you get out. But
he will be happiest if we get everyone out.
Yes. Yeah, if you can break everyone out, then, like, he's going to love you despite the fact that you're an alien. I mean, he'll probably attribute it most to Zwolrock, but it's like, yes, you're clearly a wonderful team. I love you dearly.
But I guess what I was saying is, from my perspective, I've been approaching this as though the objective were get everybody out or it's game over.
True.
And that is not the case.
Indeed. Everyone out is a stretch goal.
So here's the question.
Okay.
For Rotini. If we can find the carbonite chambers and we make it look like the life support is failing. Crash, you're not muted, but you may still be muted.
I thought you hadn't finished asking the question.
No, sorry, that was it.
Okay.
If we can find the carbonite chambers, can we make it look like the life support is failing?
That's an excellent question. GM.
If you can find them, it is my understanding from what I've seen that most carbonite people are not on Wi-Fi. There's a high probability that you will have to actually tamper with them personally.
What if, and this is Rotini saying this to Zisha, and I just did a double check to make sure that Zisha is the current character because for some reason I am remembering previous characters Ellie has played. And trying to not say a name of somebody who lived a longer time ago in a galaxy further away on a planet called Circulus.
Suddenly, Daldane appears, holding a benefit concert.
Oh, things got a lot easier.
Don't tempt me.
Hey, Daldane, you want to strike a blow against the establishment?
Daldane, in the middle of striking a blow against the establishment. Sure.
Anyway.
I think it was more along the lines of Zisha's friends never fall, though.
That too. Oh no. I'm imagining the Hutt employees calling in. We're being overrun. Send reinforcements. I don't know who they're affiliated with. They appear to be zombie backup dancers.
What alien is that? Anyway.
Their choreography is pretty on point, though. I gotta hand it to them. Don't compliment the enemy. Anyway, back to the plot, eventually. Yes. Rotini is asking Zisha, what if we made it so that the room that they're in looked compromised?
That might work.
The room that you saw them in, now that you've been puttering around and getting into more systems, is marked, the camera there is marked refrigerated storage.
We make it be less refrigerated. If I remember correctly, the room looked cluttered.
The room, I will activate the, I'll activate
you just want to play with map.
No, I'm not playing with the map.
You are totally playing with the maps. I do not fault you for playing with the maps, but I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Yeah, well, okay, so let's see. I'm going to remove a wall briefly.
Demolitions.
Control X. All right, I'm just going to remove the wall. I'm going to remove 2 walls. Nope. Actually, I'm not going to remove those walls. Never mind. You're seeing something you shouldn't. Let's just put that.
I will pay no attention to the refrigerated storage behind the curtain.
Well, let me fix the wall because there's some wall stuff that you're not getting to see.
It's okay. I'll forget what it looked like anyway.
Yeah. Yes, other people might not. Dun dun dun. Oh, good. That one didn't go away all the way. So I just need to keep this wall. Tra-la-la-la.
So while this is all entertaining, my question was if it looked like they might have to take things out of the refrigerated storage room to fix something if the refrigeration for the storage wasn't refrigerating the storage. I'm not moving that character.
Yes, I did. I wanted to make sure that was swooped through. Okay. Most everything is visible. You just can't see where all the stuff is. Okay. All the places you were before are visible.
Okay.
One place that I should make visible, I have to quickly fix the wall on because there's certain parts of the wall that I'm not going to show you.
And parts of the fog of war on this map are actually curved in such a way that they look like a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
It's the rooms directly to the left of the refrigerated storage room. If you click on my characters, the black line is curved on one side, and then it's the zigzag line at the bottom. It looks like a curtain. I will pay no attention to any man that might be behind the curtain.
Oh, let me just look and see what you've got. How fascinating that you think it looks like a curtain. I mean, there's a little curve at the bottom there, but...
Oh, I'm not seeing a curve at the bottom. I'm seeing a curve on the side. But in any case, this is, again,
Weird.
not fighting with Foundry. It's marveling at Foundry.
Oh, those little curves. Yeah, well, that's because I took out the bathroom, the wall that shows the bathroom. Okay. Zisha, I'm going to move somebody.
Oh, that's right. There's no bathrooms in space.
Right. Okay, whoops, that shows something that I don't want people...
The bottom line is the refrigerated storage cramped enough that they'd have to take things out to fix things if I damage the refrigeration unit?
It's pretty cramped. They would probably have to be fixing stuff somewhere.
Okay.
They would at least probably have to be opening that door, which is, well, it's a door, and there's a locked door into the climate controlled room, which is above.
What I should have done was hack the droids while they were disabled, but I did not do that.
I'm going to put you back on the ship because I messed up my map. Give me a brief moment here. The droids have recharging stands. I mean, droids. They have to recharge periodically. You've got a recharging thing.
Well, I don't, but Elbow does. Also, CSD4 does.
Uh-huh.
And PT, who is canonically not here, probably also does.
Yeah. Droids who are in their recharging units are probably hooked up to, like, things that can make updates. Anyway, I'm going to let you think about that one.
It depends on how paranoid. Like, CSD4 I'm almost certain Rotini would have modified CSD4 by now so that regular updates happen because they've been vetted by Rotini, not because CSD4 plugs in and just downloads the latest patch.
Indeed. But you're in the computer that would be doing the vetting.
Yes, but depending on how paranoid they are, actually, considering how easily I've gotten through security, they might not be paranoid enough.
I mean, there was a -5. Why don't I go on and see what Zolrock is about everything? Io, you're muted.
Yes, and I was navigating to the unmute without dropping my mouse on the floor.
I feel like I should, let's see, open the, mouse droid. Zolrock, do you have
Hey.
inputs?
How much of the place have we got either through experience or otherwise publicly available data for some of the areas like where the auction's happening maybe? Got a floor plan for?
You've got the floor plan for the main auction house.
Yep. Okay.
Although it's mostly via the brochure. You know, it has like casino, but it doesn't, really show
Yeah.
the restrooms and whatnot on there because reasons.
And we know where some of the secret spots are. And that dancing ship is very distracting.
I'm going to make it there. Now it's not distracting me.
And we know where some of the secret things are.
Mm-hmm. You went down a level and...
So, ideally, we need to hit to both places not that long apart, rescue people, and take everyone to the Bucephalus, which is pretending to not be the Bucephalus.
It will be a bit tricky to manage life support if you get everyone onto one ship. Just FYI.
Fair.
Let me consult.
Probably retrieving the officers first, both because they're labeled as the mission priority and because there are less of them and they're less drugged, so they might be able to help us with the next part.
Were the enlisted men wearing, let's say men, were the enlisted troops wearing their uniforms still?
Yes. Grubby and sad. They did look like they'd been searched, though.
Regarding the map, are we here, or are we just, like, remembering the layout?
Remembering the layout.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Anyway,
Sorry.
I want to roll strategy land to plot a good route.
Okay.
For sort of riot.
Mm.
Because if we get everybody, then we're going to have a riot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, I only have 1 point in this, so I'm rolling against an 11, but...
But you made it by 5.
No, I made it by 2.
Sorry, you made it by 2. You rolled a... What was I not getting?
9.
9.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, that 6 must have looked...
You were looking at Rotini rolling well.
Probably, and then... Yeah, I think there's a slight delay when it showed up, and I was just looking at the green number. Okay, so you're trying to figure out a route for the riot?
Kind of we have certain goals, and the goal is to get a bunch of prisoners to the spaceport, and if we get enough people that the Bucephalus can't take them all, possibly steal a ship.
One other thing is that for the crew, at least, Ord Mantell is a planet that has a fair amount of places that people, even Imperials, might be able to quasi-disappear. There are certain alternatives of arranging for pickup later, as well as stealing ships. That's not out of the question. It's suboptimal, obviously. You want to get them back, but if Captain Travas can ever shake some cooperation out of his intelligence officer, then who knows, maybe the Imperial intelligence people who, surely there are some, there got to be some on Ord Mantell, might be able to get them, picked up bit by bit, maybe. No, I am not, Crash, I am not going to picture 20 of them in a life-size Hutt costume, like some kind of weird, Chinese New Year dragon oozing along.
It could end up being a farcical comedy of errors where they end up in a whirlwind romance with the Hutt that we're freeing them from.
Crash? No.
Look, all I'm saying is someone has probably already written that fanfic.
Could do it. Not gonna. Besides, my Hutts are like snails. People can look up how snails have romance on their own time. Where were we? Oh, yes. Yeah, the main way of getting there is going to be a little bit tricky because there's like elevators that get up to the main floor. I'm going to activate the main floor so I can see it. There's basically 2 elevators that go up and another one that goes down because this is, a tall building. There's other things. Going up could have to run past a security, rampage past a security, get to the landing pad, or go through the casino, get to the landing pad. There are certainly choke points. With things blowing up, even just distractingly. Hello, Rotini. If you can get them undrugged, they're a military group. They can probably do this. If you can get them, if you can stop the security people in their security locations from hitting them with stunners or blasters, then you think you can get them to the landing pad minimum.
All right.
The landing pad does not like having big ships on it, but it has the space for big ships. That's not quite a 2-scale model of the Bucephalus there, but it's not too far off.
All right.
The key issue is get them undrugged en masse, lower their force fields, the force field walls that are keeping them confined, and stopping security from successfully killing or recapturing them.
All right.
And possibly directing them because they may not actually be very aware of
the layout.
So there's your land strategy. You don't like all the choke points of the hallways. You don't like how security is at the
I don't like the choke points in the hallways for getting a large number of soldiers through them.
What's really awful
I like the choke points in the hallways because I will be in them.
It's going to be tricky to be sending the elevators up and down. You would like to have someone able to override to make sure the elevators are yours and they are only going where you want them.
Rotini can probably do that.
I presume that you are going to be discussing this plot with the...
Yes.
Okay, Zisha and Rotini can chime in.
For the last time, that was a non-canon crossover, Zisha. We can't use transporters from the Enterprise.
Also, the transporters are a real power pig.
Oh, no, I got that covered.
Yes, you'd have to steal the Enterprise.
No. We generate power with a centrifuge, but I spin the centrifuge with a series of short energetic bursts from a chemical reaction. Bombs. I'm powering the centrifuge with bombs.
That's what I figured.
Probably already noticed that.
Yep. Anyway.
So the explosives I have placed in the enlisted barracks area. Barracks is the wrong term. Holding cell. Surroundings. Yeah. Anywhere I thought would be a strategic location where not taking out a panel, but taking out where the wires are going that eventually go to said panel.
Mm-hmm.
And this is assuming that the explosives aren't found and disposed of. They're all disguised as other things. So, oh, look, somebody left a rock in this potted plant over here.
No one's noticing it.
Yeah. Somebody stuck chewing gum on this conduit. Well, that's somebody else's job to pick that off. But, things could happen.
Eventually, Droid's going to try to clean that up.
Yeah, eventually. But how much infrastructure have they put into doing that? I've seen the bathrooms. So that canonically exists. So ostensibly, hitting the right button would stop all the barriers of entry, but they wouldn't instantly be undrugged. We'd have to take care of that first. And then there's the question of, is the GM trying to point us at being there for the auction specifically because that's when they'd all be in one convenient location?
The GM is not pointing you in any direction at all. The GM has an A plot and a B plot. If you want to combine them, the GM will be delighted. If you don't, the GM will laugh because the B plot amuses her.
This GM had an A plot, but then you adopted A.
Yep.
That's fair.
My roommate from college has been listening through all of the Cause and Effect campaign. I think he's on 30-something for the episodes, and he was like, wait, it's spelled A-Y-E?
Because he's from Canada, you see.
Well, yeah. Z is named Zed. Anyway.
Yeah, but he spells A-E-H.
Ellie gets a Cypher System XP.
And you tick off a bingo card.
No, the bingo card is for giving the GM XP.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
No bingos.
Which, on certain nights, Ellie getting XP would tick off that bingo card.
True.
So how far has my backdoor spread through the network?
Your backdoor. Let's see. I'm going to roll.
Roll for incompetence. That is my staunchest ally in the situation. Which stat is incompetent?
It's gotten into a lot of low security places.
I have friends in low places.
You do have friends in low places. You have friends in a whole bunch of HoloNet pages for, advertising their books or holo novels, and you've got just general fan pages. You found your way into some kind of cryptography, farming, maintenance thing.
Good
You
news,
could probably
everyone.
crash that.
Good news, everyone. I found out that we can get a whole different spaceship to get all of the enlisted and officers off planet for no money down. We just have to attend this workshop. It says they'll feed us.
Rotini.
Okay, I admit I stopped reading it after they said free food, and they led with that.
That's a subscription feature. You have not gotten into the auction house setup place at this time. I had a name. What's my name?
Well,
Place. The
I
Freeze Player House.
I continue to hold out hope that things will get there eventually, because everywhere it goes is one more point of entry.
You've gotten into some of the places that are advertising them, but their security has been a little bit better. You're sort of nibbling around the edges of it. You can get at their menus. You could play with their menu website, holo site. By the way, Ellie, just don't forget you have serendipity.
I'm not.
Okay.
I think I have 2 of them right now because I didn't use it last session.
I think you used one last session, but it's rolling over because you had two of them to use.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if it rolls over.
Okay.
Rolling Serendipity. I don't know what genre of music that band would play, but that's definitely a band name.
So, do you have any plots besides, Zolrock has the plot of trying to extract everyone?
Clarifying.
Okay.
We do think they are all going to be at the auction house during the auction. We do not think people will be picking up what they bid on later.
They are probably going to be bidding on it seems very likely that the auction is going to be, at least people are going to want to see what's there. And depending on who is present at the auction, like if there's too many Republic actual, might care about laws against auctioning people. I mean, Hutts don't care, but I think Ord Mantell is technically Republic at the moment. Kind of, sort of.
It also means they would have higher security if they're putting all of the officers and enlisted in one space. Right now, they're spread out.
Yeah, the officers may be pickup. In fact, you're digging into the stuff, Rotini. I will give you, been doing all that. From what you can tell, it seems like the officers are going to be auctioned via holo, as in, here's a hologram of what we've got, and picked up or delivered privately. The enlisted are, as near as you can tell, all in the cells on the lower office. Sorry, I will activate it because I can't words. They are in that one over here, clumped very tightly into mostly these two secure holding places on the second level of the freeze player house.
Okay.
There might be a few in those little rooms beside the security.
And because they were being held in rooms that were not kept airtight by any means, the assumption is they were being drugged through food or water. More likely water. So how do we undo that?
Meanwhile.
Zisha?
Can I have like 2 seconds to respond to Joel-Rock's plan?
Yes.
Thank you. Zisha is making 4 calls. First is a call to what's essentially a travel agency on behalf of a fictitious employer who wants to slum it anonymously. What's a good place to travel where they won't be recognized and where nobody's going to ask too many questions? On planet, I mean. The second is to her cab driver buddy to see how many other cabs he can wrangle up to transport people from the same place at the same time.
Okay.
The third is to find an on-planet mass transport that can go to the place that the first phone call revealed. One of the places that the first phone call revealed.
Okay.
And the fourth is to Zethubra.
All right.
To say, I'm kind of acting against interest here, but let's face it ain't my money I'm spending, and I want you to get the best end of this deal. Do you maybe want to wash the uniforms these guys are wearing? Because I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get more money from them if they look like they're, proper military uniforms instead of, what they've been wearing for the last 2 weeks. Like if they look sharp on stage, you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm writing these down so that I will have my notes here, and I'm kidding.
I like the idea of the guards trying to flag down a cab to chase all of the cabs that are fleeing, but they can't because all of the cabs are fleeing.
Yes.
I am going to resolve these with some essentially luck roll type things. Okay, number 1 called is this in order?
Not necessarily.
Okay, well,
but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Okay, I will handle them the order you gave them to me then. The travel agency can find some red light districts for places to go where if you were recognized, no one would say anything, and there aren't enough cameras to be very good at getting dirt on you, on who's visiting. Some of them, you have to do a few calls around to get this, but you can do it. That's finally fun. Find some place that is perfectly willing to direct you to where you can get all kinds of quality entertainment that is disapproved of by most of those hoity-toity people in the higher skyscraper hotel rooms.
Sounds perfect. My employer just wants somewhere where he doesn't have to be himself for a week or so.
Oh, believe me, he can be his most inner self if he desires.
Somewhere the tabloids won't follow him.
Oh, the tabloids wouldn't dare venture into that location. No one likes cameras there.
Perfect.
Cabs. You're looking to find as many cabs as possible. That's a good roll. This is a distracting Percy.
He's rotating in place, back and forth.
Yeah, that's about Percy. Hello, Percy, you naughty little creature. The cab driver can absolutely get you a whole bunch of cabs, Space Uber, Space Lyft, and an extended number of cousins have a lot of them are not on the Space Uber because their air cars and air trucks are a little bit scruffy and they got kicked out. Some of them might be
Doesn't
a little
matter
drunk.
to me.
Okay, yeah. How many do you need?
Out of character, how many enlisted soldiers are there?
In theory, there are about 100. In
Um,
practice, who knows how many are actually,
Best case scenario, call it 25 cabs.
At least 25? Okay, yeah, sure. I could probably get you 30 if you want.
The more the merrier.
Sure thing. Tell me when you need everybody, and we can, I'll tell everybody to be there. I'll tell a lot of people to be there because, Okay, you'll be in touch. All right. On planet mass transport to or from the location.
To the CV. To the location.
To the location. That's trickier. The place that you want is not... It's not where mass transport wants to go. It's where you take a non-mass transport. You take a cab. You don't send a regular route to this area, because if you send a regular route to the area, things kind of tend to happen to the vehicle.
I'm sorry. When I said mass transport, what I meant was a ship big enough to haul 100 people.
Oh, you're looking for a ship. Okay.
Not mass transit.
Thank you. Sorry, didn't get that. The location is not for it's not one that great big ships can go to either necessarily.
Okay.
You could hover something, but...
It would be convenient then if that third call had been before the cab driver, so I could ask if the cabs can go to the CD location.
They're okay going to this, at least close enough to the CD location for, dropping people off. They wouldn't like to go very deep into it, but yeah, they can get different amounts of into that area based on how brave the cabbie is.
Okay.
But yeah, they will go. It's if you pay them, they'll go.
All right.
Zeph?
I hadn't realized it was short enough for a cab trip.
They're mostly air cars, so this is one of the bigger cities. I assumed you were picking someplace relatively close.
I was picking someplace where it would be harder I want the soldiers to be able to show up and basically disappear.
Yeah, and frankly, the closer the better, because that way they can't get spotted on, whatever.
Right. Right.
Yes, you can. The cabs can definitely get them to the disappearing place. So, reaction roll for Zeth of clean this guys up. Zeth is like, yeah, we could wash them, but there's a lot of them, and we have to put clothes on them, and
they're not the high ticket item.
They are not the high ticket item. The others, sure, we're gonna wash them.
I just thought you might get a higher price for them.
These lot, and no, the people who pay more for them, frankly, they liked the idea that they found a diamond in the rough. It's like, oh yeah, grubby, but
yeah, all right, I can see where you're coming from.
It's like, yeah, they've already been patted down. Washing their clothes isn't going to drown out anything that they're not already been deprived of. So, yeah, they've had all their credits taken off them.
That's fair. All right, just thought I'd suggest it.
Up to you. I don't know why you want to try and pay, though. Yeah, I bet you're only funded for the big ticket items. They'll be tidy, don't worry.
I mean, like I said, it's not my money. Not my money I'm spending.
It'd be ours to wash everything. Gotta get back.
Yeah, all right. Have a good day.
Right. And since, as it's been noted, we've been playing for over an hour, we should take a break. 5-minute break, and I'll be nice to Crash. We should keep it to 15.
For the record, Beth is saying she'll be nice to Crash by saying that, because that's 2 items on the bingo card, not just one.
Uh-huh.
I like
But
the
can
spot
you
where we talked about.
unspause us?
Yes, we are currently unspaused.
Zisha want to make a call back to the cab drivers.
Yes.
They got the part.
Funny you should say that.
Okay. And what is
Um,
the... You can get your cabbie friend?
Yeah, sorry, I was coughing.
Oh, sorry.
If we set up a temporary, I forgot what they're called, comm address
Yeah.
that directs to you, can you get your cabbie, your fellow professional cab drivers to bring people to that landing pad?
To
If we
you want me to set up a beacon and they home in on me?
no, just have it set up so that you assign, someone calls the temporary number and then I guess you assign them to one of the cabs, and then that cab picks up the person and brings them to the
That's starting to get a
landing
little...
pad outside.
Well, which landing pad? Which landing pad?
The one you dropped us off at the other day.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
that one.
they're all going to need to be there anyway.
I mean, it's a little harder than just, we all descend on the place, first come, first serve, land on, get our... It's big enough I can land everybody, but, people just go run over, jump in a cab, and leave or something. I mean,
Well,
I can... If I knew how to do the flight path management, would I be a cabbie, huh?
Yeah, that's fair. I can get someone to do Overwatch. What I need is the cabs.
I can get you the cabs. What time you need them?
I'll get back in touch with you with a date and time. But
Okay.
right now, the plan is you pick some people up and bring them to the landing pad. And then on the landing pad, other people get in the cabs and you fly off.
Do the people I'm picking up also get off? I mean, am I dropping people off and picking up new people?
Yes, you're dropping people off on the landing pad and picking up other people on the landing pad.
Are you arranging the people that I'm dropping off?
Yes. All you got to do is pick them up and get them to the landing pad.
Okay. Sure, I can do that.
All right.
You're going to pay me, right?
Of course.
Okay, just got to check on these things.
Yeah, of course.
Because fuel, it costs money.
Yeah, so don't I know it?
Rent, it costs money. Food,
Yeah,
it
that
costs
too.
money. Everything
All of
costs.
this is true. I promise I'm going to pay you.
Okay, I'll try. You seem like you're going to be good for your word. You bet. Okay.
All right. Thanks. And then I will make a note, whatever day Joel Rock decides to break everybody out of whatever this OMAH.
Ord Mantell Auction House.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I am early in the morning.
There will likely be more security when the auction itself happens, but there will also be more suspects.
Yes, that's why this is very funny to me. Early in the morning of the day that Joel Rock selects, I am going to post to the local HoloNet for anybody who wants to create a flash mob at that landing pad wearing their best Imperial military uniform and contact this comm address to get transport there if you need it.
Oh, you want to post that to the local HoloNet?
Mhm.
How many logins do you want to be saying, oh, that sounds cool, I'll be there? Because while I haven't gotten any leads that I want from, my endeavors that I definitely did not do during the last game, I happen to have access to a lot of HoloNet logins right now.
Enough to pique interest.
Rotini does not know what that means. So Rotini translates that as all of them.
Let's say half a dozen to get the ball rolling, and then ramp it up if nobody seems to be responding.
The question is, does Rotini start with half a dozen and ramp it up as, well, you'll be doing all of them anyway, so you might as well start with that.
You're impulsive, Rotini. Are you rolling against your impulsiveness?
I made it by 1.
You made it by 1. It's up to you. It's up to the player now.
I do not willingly fail this. It'd be funny if I did fail it, but Rotini is strong. Rotini has gone against what Zisha wanted before with poor impulse control, and it led to more cleanup being needed. We weren't the ones who did the cleanup. That was for the bomb squad, but more cleanup was needed.
And Beth, I really hope reaction rolls are roll over.
Reaction rolls
Or roll
are
high.
roll high.
Okay.
The more reaction, the better.
Yep. 16 to 18 is a very good reaction. A 19 or better is excellent. And I figured that anything else is okay. You are going to make a flash mob of fake Imperials to come to the. You're setting this up ahead of time so that they're going to show up at the landing pad.
Yes.
Okay. This sounds like the only issue that you're going to have for Zwolrock breaking people out is deciding when that day is going to be and how you're going to undrug everybody.
I think that all in all, the day of the auction probably is the best day because it's the day that the most will be going on in the area. And while that's a double-edged sword, that's also like when it's easiest to do stuff. If others would prefer a different day.
No, that's fine.
All right.
You're the strategist.
It gives more time for my network to spread. I mean, hypothetically, if I had a network that was continuously infecting more devices through the network and through portable media with a variety of malware, it would be able to spread further if it had until the day of the auction.
Besides, we won't be the only people trying something.
Nedra very much wants to go see the auction.
Indeed, and Nedra isn't the only one.
That's right. There's all those people who brought in the frozen what's-it, who
I'm
are
not
all
sure
very
it was
tired.
frozen.
I mean, it was looked like it was in a cooler.
Yeah, and the stasis chamber that we delivered in episode 0 looked like Zulrock was in it.
Yeah. Well,
Now, undrugging everyone will be more difficult.
If they're doing it through an automated system and not bespoke adding drops to their water supply, there's a chance that I might be able to get into that network. But that chance isn't the same that I have for causing a distraction day of. And by the time I cause that distraction, our timeline gets ramped up anyway. I'm now imagining a Mission Impossible scene with a Jawa being lowered on a rope into a room and dropping water purification tablets into a cooler.
Well, just let me know what you need me to do.
If we're going to sneak into something, it would be better to, say, change the labels on their drugs.
If we knew what they looked like in advance, we could manufacture a placebo and swap it for that. But we're operating without information.
Or I suppose Rotini could damage the water pipes somehow so that they would not be able to water the prisoners that morning.
I mean, I wasn't that discriminatory when it came to conduit. But again, the time frame wouldn't be useful. And that only helps if it's an automated system. If when the water is being given, that's when they're adding the drug, then there's nothing I'd be able to do remotely. We'd have to break in. And as overconfident as I am, we got very lucky that last time.
the GM would like to point out that you do have a basically a medical facility opposite security facility, presumably also helping out with space, the hotel and space B&B. But
Everyone goes into the ER waiting room to get detoxed.
there's a couple of medical places down there. They are noted on brochure because this is the second level of the Freeze Player House. There's a cheaper cantina with casino/arcade. There's
What
a
is the
medical
nature of
place.
the medical emergency? And is this on or off the books?
And there's a couple of banquet halls and the staff dining cafeteria.
I may be able to purge a few of them myself and have them handle the others in medical.
If only there was some kind of hypo spray that you could just press up against their neck and then suddenly they were better.
I mean, GURPS has purge, so I figure Star Wars ought to.
Purge
Does anyone else?
implies a specific method of removal of the toxin.
It does imply that, but that's not how it works in the book.
I would say their uniforms already need washing, so how much would it be noticeable?
Probably a lot, honestly.
I'm going to stand by my text hypothesis that they're not going to wash the uniforms because they're dry clean only.
Well, if we can't clean the Imperials, we can dirty the flash mob.
I'm not sure that's going to matter so much. If they're looking at a fast-moving cab, they're going to see a passenger. If they're looking at a fast-moving cab and they're lucky, they're going to see a passenger in a uniform. They're not going to be counting the stain. And the less we do to alert the flash mob that there's a problem, the better the prank can be for pulling it off.
Well, I was going to suggest that the flash mob might find alcohol and reasons to be in disorder.
Oh, why didn't you say so? My Rotini cocktails are legal beverages in 18 systems. Don't ask how many are on the Outer Rim. It's odd that it's only 18 of the ones in the Outer Rim that make it legal. But in any case, it won't usually make you blind. That one time was a fluke. They didn't read the directions. The directions clearly stated do not apply to face. Purge. This cleanses the user's system of foreign biochemicals. If the user makes a HT roll, I feel like I should say an HT roll, but whatever. It neutralizes any active drugs, including recreational pharmaceuticals and alcohol, within 2D minutes. Failure means that the dose had no effect. Critical failure also nauseates the user. -3 DX for 1 hour. I understood some of those words.
So, Rotini will need to take control of the elevators and perhaps other systems. I will need to escort the prisoners out.
Second floor going up, right?
This
is the player asking, not the character. It wasn't the second sub-basement, it was the second floor going upstairs.
The top floor and where most of the fun stuff is, I'm going to activate, is this. It has the landing pad. It's got the casino. The casino probably actually has some windows here and there. Who knows?
So they do need to go up to get out.
They need to go up to get to the landing pad. There are 2 elevators, those little rounded things at the edges there. One goes casino. It's kind of cargo sized because what they do is they bring drinks and stuff up. The other one is smaller. It's a hotel elevator. On the next one down, activating, there are 2 elevators. One of them goes down only. The other one goes up to the top roof and also can go down.
And you see, when we went into this building last time, Rotini was not used to a timetable that takes multiple days, and so had placed the explosives thinking that it would be not that long before they all had to be detonated. But it has been that long, and will continue to be longer.
I mean, if you want to go back and pick up your explosives and or reset them pick different ones.
Pick them up? No, heaven forbid.
They might go off.
But perhaps he would have installed a backdoor. There is that. And explosives 20 means he doesn't want to touch it because he knows what it does. It's like if you are a locksmith, you suggest people get electronic locks. If you are a computer programmer who's involved in security, you want everyone to get a lock that involves a key. Rotini knows when to not touch explosives. If Rotini's moniker is on it, you don't touch the explosive. But if Rotini had known that it'd be taking this long, Rotini would have tried to install a backdoor in that facility.
I'm not sure if you knew that. You might have to go back to try to install backdoors or keep attacking the possible locations. You're not getting into the slot machines. Those are scary. Yeah.
Oh no,
you might be able to get
those things are horrid. Rotini feels bad for the people who are too impulsive to make their will roll against slot machines.
But getting into them via computer attacks is unlikely.
Well, yeah, that's where the money is.
Right. Getting into anything where there's no money involved or minimal money compared to the slot machines, that's going to be easier, maybe.
So what kind of roll is that?
Although I might make you might have to make some more rolls.
What kind of roll is that going to take?
Let me roll a thing.
With the understanding that this is the 3rd or 4th session where we're attempting this heist, and we're in the second half of it.
Indeed. I would like a -7 roll to get into the Freeze player house computer systems en masse, except for the casino stuff.
I was playing with Foundry to get to -7. Which am I rolling? Which
computer
skill?
ops. Sorry, no, computer programming. Computer programming.
For a moment, I thought, oh, so the lowest of my skills, the one that I decidedly did not put points into, because
No.
it was the equivalent of using Microsoft Office. I'm sorry.
No. Programming.
Microsoft Office. I missed by 5.
You're going to have to do this the hard way.
Oh. They didn't have at least one person who used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as their password. There's always someone who uses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as their password.
It would be really serendipitous if there was someone who used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as their password.
And who would that someone probably be?
Weesey
doesn't use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as her password in BASIC. But if you switch your keyboard to Hutt, well, that's a little different now, isn't it?
I like Ellie's suggestion. It's Weesey rules, all caps.
It's always the boss who thinks they're exempt from security measures.
Yes.
When I switch my keyboard to Hutt, I'm doing the Scotty line from When They Go Back in Time. How quaint. Crack my knuckles.
You have serendipitously discovered that, the Hutt, it's not her player house. She only rents bits of it, but she is a very high-level donor. You can use her account to get into a lot of other places thereafter, partly because she's a Hutt and she's been trying to, infiltrate the place herself. You don't have the slot machines still, darn it. You have her access. Her access is pretty darn good.
My brain is yes-anding for this. The GM, of course, holds sway. If Weesey was trying to infiltrate it anyway, now Weesey is Weesey. So I imagine Weesey would have hired somebody to try to use her access that she already had to get more access through whatever malware is possible. So when I type in Weesey rules in Huddies and actually get access, I see some familiar prompts on the screen, like, oh, they're only using version 4 of that software? Well, it'll work.
Sure.
Thermonuclear war. Oh, I don't have time to play a game today.
No. You've got a lot more. There are probably a few places you won't have, but what do you want to have out of this access?
I want to see if there's a way to turn off the drugs to the enlisted.
The drugs are mixed up in a large cooler, the great big
It's as I feared, they're bespoke
bottles. They are mixed up in the great big bottles by droids who, roll in the cooler bottle of water, administer the drug, cap it off, and have it rolled back by droids.
I can remotely replace the drug with a similar sized and shaped bottle of electrolyte, turning the poisoned Kool-Aid into Gatorade.
You would want to be on site to do it.
I don't like that.
If you can get in there like the day before, you can very easily tap in a few things, use your Wii password on a few droids, maybe divert whatever biological is being around in there, and get them to be putting in electrolytes instead of sleepy time.
Next question. This is Weesey's account. Can I get a record of exactly where everyone is, particularly the ones we haven't seen yet? You
have got into a lot of the security cameras, some of which may not be the actual security cameras for the player house. They may be security cameras that Weesey has installed that are, Well, I mean, it's a camera. Who's going to question? There's a security camera here.
Half of them are labeled mouse spot camera, followed by a number.
Yeah. You can set up a thing to watch to see who's been going in and out of places.
Okay. But the ones that we couldn't find specifically, I wanted to see if I could confirm, oh yeah, they are in that cold storage room.
Oh, if you're looking for, oh yeah, you've got Weese's in there. Oh, you've got oh yeah, those files, those are easy files for her own warehouse.
Hell yeah. Have I been spwned.net? Yeah.
There are, I checked my notes, I'd gotten some a little bit wrong. There are 4 people in Carbonite in the refrigerated storage room. They are listed with their, basically it's, their officer, like, Lieutenant 4, 5, and 6. There are the 6 in the 2 cells that you people saw. There are, let me just get this one back so I can remember. The captain and their first officer are listed as safe house room in the warehouse, whatever the Criff the safe house room is.
But they are in the warehouse then. So
they are in the warehouse.
But they weren't in a room that we went to.
Yes.
Okay. Third question. Possibly the last one, because also I'm looking
All
at
right,
the time.
unless other people have things they want to tell Rotini to look for.
Well, yes, this is the last question that the player and Rotini have.
Okay.
Under their own direction.
Okay.
Can I use this account to push software updates to the droids?
Yes.
As soon as I realize this, I look over at Zisha and say, would you like a small army?
I mean, always, but what's the context?
I point to the screen.
I apologize. I was checking my temperature. I didn't hear what was on the screen.
I can install software updates on the droids in Weesee's properties.
Zisha just sort of tilts her head like a cat might do. Wow, isn't that neat?
This whole time, I've been concerned that we had to break people out of 2 locations at the same time, having to split the party. Clearly, the solution was outsourcing.
Yeah, I like the way you think. Let's do that.
I go to crack my knuckles and realize I already cracked them before I typed in the password, so I can't crack them again.
Well, you could, but,
Yeah, but at that point, I'm actually causing fractures.
Ouch. Best not.
It's a shame that the
Rotini.
droids in the warehouse are not combat.
CS. Rotini. CS. Make the sound of cracking knuckles for me.
Elbow plays knucklecrack.wav on command. For some reason, it sounds like a mouse droid each time it does, though. I downloaded the wrong sound file.
Oops.
Yeah. So long as they don't try to crack their knuckles in front of, anyone outside of the ship, that would cause some explaining to need to be done.
Since it sounds like you've got a plan going on, and it's getting late.
Yeah, I think
Shall
so.
we have the execution?
Jwolrock's got the strategy down. Rotini's got the hacking things, and I'm doing the scam logistics.
Yep.
Congratulations, you are being rescued. Please do not
Please
resist.
do not resist. Yes. Rogue One didn't get the love that I think it deserved. It's a good movie.
That's because it was sad.
It's incredibly sad, but it's going to be sad.
I was hoping. No
one watched the prequels. No one watched the prequels and said, that Anakin guy, I'm sure they're going to grow up to be just fine.
I was hoping that they would run off and just be doing things on the other side of the galaxy.
Some of their photons did.
Yeah. It was a marvelous, well done, well executed movie. It was a war movie set in Star Wars with the heist move bit. I'm just going to be sad now.
It was a heist movie combined with Star Wars combined with the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, and it led in quite perfectly to New Hope, the original Star Wars movie.
That was the whole point.
By the way, spoilers for an 8-year-old movie.
Yeah, well.
9 by the time this goes out.
That's the truth.
I actually haven't seen it, so
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, I know what kind of movie it is.
Okay. It's very much worth watching, but I wanted a box of tissues and I didn't have one. Anyway, it sounds like we've got everything set up to start pushing dominoes next week.
Sounds good to me.
I am ready for
Okay.
pizza next week, yes.
Okay, so I'll let people go to bed. So this was Beth, and thank you for listening to our planning session, and thank everyone for planning. And does anyone have anything they want to plug?
Eo's mom writes plans.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, kind of. I really
Eo's
want to
mom
write
writes.
a book.
Eo's
ebooks.
mom writes spooks.
Spooks. That would be Queen of Roses. Queen of Roses is a spook. It is about a legitimately sapient artificial intelligence who is suddenly taken from her job as basically an accounting person in a bank who never has to talk to biologicals. And now she's running a cruise ship and has to interface with all of them. It's terrible. She hates it. Thank you. And speaking of things that are... Oh, right. That's at elizabethmccoy.com. And speaking of things that are not terrible...
Rogue One. Oh, wait. That was... You were throwing to me, so I could
yes,
talk
I was
about
throwing it to you.
my website. My
Yes.
space website. AaronBSmith.com/cogwheel. S and P are not letters included in that web address. So... But I wanted to put them there for the meme. But that is where we put all of our podcasts. And you can follow us on the Fediverse at is.aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel. It is not spogwheel, but well done, Beth.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you can support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/cogwheelgaming will allow you to join in with other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, Liv Droman, and patron emeritus Cindy.
Until next time, this is Beth saying, yeah, they want a lot of cabs. Yeah, she said she wants a lot of cabs. Yeah, she said she can pay. Come on, it's going to be fun. There's going to be some kind of flash mob thing. I saw it on... Yeah, Imperials. Don't ask me. I guess we all get drunk and burn Imperial flags or something. It'll be great. Good night, everyone.
This flash mob sponsored by Weesey. No, really. The funding came right out of Weesey's account. It has to be sponsored by Weesey.
Oh no. Oh no. You People, please make sure that you have good secure passwords, and that your password is not Weesey rules, even with an exclamation point.
My password is totally secure. Look, it doesn't say password. I replaced the A in password with a 4.
Also, please do check haveibeenpwned.com. That's haveibeenpwned.com.
Actually, good advice. Good night.
Good night.